you are doing this breakout called Healing Hurts. And I'm sure the room is going to be packed because every human being recognizes the brokenness and the hurt that's in this world. And I just want to kind of hear your heart on this. Tell me, why do you feel like this topic is important for parents and church leaders to hear?
So I feel this topic is so important for parents and church leaders to hear because Jesus thought it was. Of all the passages he could have used to talk about his ministry, what he was going to do, he speaks out of Isaiah in Luke, and he says this: "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted." And for the next 3 years, he unpacks for us what that meant. He brought physical healing to those who were sick. He brought spiritual healing by revealing what the kingdom of God was all about. And he brought emotional healing to those who needed it. And in so doing it, he showed us all the Father's heart, that we would be whole, but we're not. We know from how Jesus did ministry that the church is meant to be a place of healing, a place where we grow in community, we live in community, and we walk out our faith in that community.
Yeah. So then how can we as parents know our child's heart well enough to know when healing needs to take place?
Good question. I'd say the first step is to learn to listen well. And that means listening with our spirit. I say sometimes when I'm listening to somebody, I've got an ear towards heaven and an ear to what they're saying. I'm listening in the spirit to hear what's being said. We listen with our soul. We're engaged with our emotions. And we also listen with our body by using body language that's engaging, looking in somebody's eyes. Listening means listening without distractions, without interrupting, and not assuming that you already know what the person is about to tell you. Dr. Scotty May from Wheaton College said it like this: "How often we fail to grasp the truth or the struggle in a comment because we're not really hearing what's being said. And how often do we smile at a cute perspective or give a quick answer to a question without seriously reflecting on what the child said or wondering what was behind that comment or question?" So when we listen, we also want to listen in order to be able to ask questions. We're listening to understand instead of listening to give pat answers such as, "Hey, don't worry about it. It's not as bad as it looks." Or, "You're going to get over this in time." Or how about this one? "You kind of deserve that. You shouldn't have put yourself in that situation." Those are conversation stoppers, right?
Right.
So instead, we need to encourage conversation by saying something like this: "So, how are you doing with that? Can you tell me a little bit more about that? How did that make you feel? I'm here to help you. How can we walk through this together?" Those sorts of comments open up the conversation and draw that person into relationship with you. And I'd say we need to offer to pray with our kids about those struggles and create an environment where they know that they can talk about their emotions with you. And another thing we need to do, this I think is so important, is to intentionally create an intergenerational community to surround your children. This could be made up of aunts and uncles, church members, neighbors, and friends. People that your children know that are good to talk with, that'll give them sound advice and counsel, and will also pray for them too.